Hi everybody, this is Stafford Conley. Just doing this video about a book that I'm reading, 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Just want to go over the first law of it, which is never outshine the master. And just as a quick little background, most of this book is really geared towards principles of war and things to gain power versus your enemies and things of that nature. But a lot of the content applies to everyday life and business and things of that nature. So, I mean, it's a great book. If you ever want to read it, 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. But like I said, the first law is never outshine the master. And what this means is basically, as a subordinate, sometimes the person who's training you, or the person who's leading you, or the person who's your boss, or the person who's your upline may not be necessarily the sharpest knife in the drawer, or you may know that you're a harder worker or smarter or whatever, more competent than they are, but you can't be subversive and try to undermine their authority and try to outshine them, because what's going to happen is they're going to chop your head off. Because if the person in the position of power does not like you or does not trust you or thinks that you're trying to take their spot, then they're going to cut you off at the knees, and they're going to put up roadblocks that prevent you from getting to where you want to go. Now, obviously, if you're in that situation, you have to be very, very, very careful about how you do things, how you go about your job. Now, you want to do your job well, obviously, because you want to move forward. But definitely not outshining the master is important. One example they gave is that court jesters. Now, court jesters were very, known to be funny people. But part of their position was that they entertained and they looked silly. But in some instances, you had court jesters who were really a lot sharper than the king, and they wielded some influence because they were close to the king, because they were there in his presence and they were entertaining. But in another sense, they had a position whereby they had access to other people who were close to the king, and potentially they could take the king out. So not outshining the master is a very, very, very important principle, and one that would serve you well as far as gaining trust for the person who holds that leadership position above you, or that position of authority above you. And then when the moment is right, you can make your move. But you do not want to come out the gate and belittle or try to do things that kind of make the person who holds a position higher than you feel as if you are coming for their spot, because you don't want to come for the number one spot if you're not ready. So you definitely want to make preparations and show your worth, but don't outshine the master. And that's law number 1 from 48 Laws of Power. And this is Stafford Conley, and look forward to talking to you more. To your success.